I'm Chris, aka Funkolius. Just wanted to make a short tutorial on how to do a remix in Tinkercad. If you're not familiar with Tinkercad, it's completely free, and it's very capable. You can remix just about any STL as long as it doesn't have too many issues and it's not too complicated. You shouldn't have issues with 95% of the models. But I just wanted to do this for you because I've been getting a lot of requests to remix antennas, and they're fairly simple to do. So I just wanted to show you. That way you can do it on your own. You can remix whatever antenna you want. Most people have more than one. So here you go. So first thing you want to do is get your model that you want to edit. So we're just going to pick one. We're going to do this from scratch. I'm going to import the model, just a basic STL. So the most recent request I had was for an 03. So you've got your model here. It's clearly at a 90-degree angle. So you're just going to grab a cylinder. If you notice, this cylinder isn't, if you were to turn this into a solid, it's not quite round, which is fine. 3D printers actually print better when things aren't perfectly circle, but I like mine perfectly circle. So I'm just going to smooth this out by bringing these sliders over. Now if you want to bevel this out, you can, to give it a different look. All right, so this is going to be a hole and a solid. So for now, we're going to leave this as a hole. This is going to be the diameter of the antenna that you want to edit. So the 03 antenna is 17 millimeters by 17 millimeters. You can use the tab button on your keyboard to switch back and forth to the X and Y axis. All right. So we're going to turn this at a 90-degree angle to match the model that we are remixing. You can use the scroll wheel to scroll back and forth, or you can use the buttons here. You can use this to zoom in on what you're clicking on. If you want to click on that, you can do that. Or you can use the F key on your keyboard, which is a shortcut. Okay? All right. So this is going to be your group if you want to put these together. For now, we're just going to line these up. So click on whichever one you want to line it up with, or you can leave it blank and it'll meet in the middle. But I personally like to just keep the model that I'm working on in the center of the build plate. And we're just going to move this over here and get it fairly close. So this is going to be center here, and this is going to be the center of the model. Okay? Now you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move back and forth. You can hold it, slide back, slide forward, whatever you want to do. All right. If you press down on the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can move the build plate around. All right. You can adjust this to how much this moves. Little increments to large increments. You want to go faster. To this is 1/100th of a millimeter. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to get this as close as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're remixing it. It's not going to be there in a minute anyway. All right. If you hit Control and the arrow key, you go up and you can go down. But hold the Control key and up if you want to move up. All right. That looks pretty close. Maybe over just a little bit. All close enough. All right. So next, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Control C and Control V to make a copy of this. And I'm going to turn this into a solid. Now I'm going to turn this in how wide I want the outside diameter of the encasing itself. So if I want this 2 millimeters thick on each side, we're going to do 21. It's going to be 4 millimeters in total diameter. All right, and if you click on these little things, on these squares on the corner, it wakes up the dimensions. All right. So now we've got 21 by 21. All right, we're going to use this, the center key again. Click on those two. Use their center. Now I'm going to click on the object that I want to center it to. Okay. All right, so now that's centered, right? You can use this key, this icon, to make it disappear. And you can make this one to come back. That way you can work on one piece and not disturb the other. So what I'm going to do on the inside here, so I'm going to stretch this out a little bit further just so I can see it. It's back. Click on the one that you want to stretch it to. And then we're just going to pull this through. Okay? And it doesn't have to necessarily be in this order, just as long as the end result is the same. So I'm going to make another copy of this. And this is going to be the diameter of the stem itself. Okay? So usually 6 millimeters will do it. Oops. Control Z to undo something because I did the wrong dimension there. Okay. So now we're going to center this again. We're going to stretch this one through. Now on this one, just not to disturb the other model, let's make sure that you see how it pokes through on the model itself. So let me get rid of the bevel. We don't need that. And I'm going to just push this over to a spot where it doesn't disturb the model. And that looks good. So there, it's not affecting anything, it's just poking the hole. Okay. All right. Now you can probably see by now where we're going with this. And now if we just group these, we can group these all together. All right, but not just yet. What I want to do is I want to chop off this end here, okay, to get it out of the model. The easiest way to do this is just bring in a block. Make sure it's taller than the model itself or whatever you're trying to cut off. Okay, it's best to use these. It's best to use the dimensions over here, and I'll tell you why. If you raise this up to whatever, notice that this does not change. So if I want to bring this down to 5 millimeters, it's not actually 5 millimeters. It goes in a ratio. So to fix it, you just make this equal to whatever dimension you're adjusting if you want to fix that. Now, sometimes it's advantageous just to, push and pull this thing around. The problem is when you have it when it's not a square and it's in line with the build plate itself, because it starts to stretch weird. It starts to stretch in uneven diameters. or uneven measurements. All right, so I'm going to bring that to my Control Z to bring it back. Like I said, just bring it up higher than whatever you're trying to clip off here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a radius to kind of match this corner here. So that's going to be 45 degrees roughly. And you don't have to use the arrow keys. You can grab this and move it. Just be careful if you do accidentally grab a corner, you will move it wonky. Okay. But you can just grab it somewhere you want. We're just going to place it in the corner right there. It's not quite a 45 degree, but if you hold this out, you can do this in little increments. Or if you go closer, it goes in bigger increments. This is a good way to line things up, and you can also click on it if you know what the exact dimension is. You can click on this and make it whatever degree you want. Even if you want to go a half a degree, you can go a half a degree, right? So, all right, but that looks pretty good right there. Stretch this out a little bit so it goes across the whole thing. Okay. But you notice it's clipping here on the corner. So we're going to bring that back. All right, it looks pretty good. So just click on the piece that you want to get rid of. You can hold the Shift key and click, and it'll click on whichever one you want. You can match anything you want, and you click on it again to get rid of it. But hold the Shift key in order to do that. So we're going to go here and we're going to group these, and it's going to chop off that end. And there it goes. You can make this as long as you want. If you do want to make this longer, make sure that you ungroup it from your slicing piece. So you can make this however big you want. If you want the hole bigger, you just make this piece bigger, and then you do it, accordingly. Group it all together. If you notice, you got a little indentation right there. Because what has happened is I have pushed this in too far. You can take this, if you want to see it, you can make it transparent. And that way you can see how far back this goes. All right, so we're just going to bring that up enough to where it doesn't interfere. Model. Again. And there you go. Then you can push this back, however far you want. You can get rid of it altogether if you want. You can make just one big hole. However you want to do it. But that'll be enough to get you going as far as a remix goes. Okay, and that's how you do a basic remix. Change this all to one color if you want. And there you go. And once you're done with that, now if you have multiple things on here, you definitely want to make sure that the one you want to export is highlighted. Otherwise, it will export the entire build plate. export it to an STL. And then that's pretty much it. Go ahead and pull this up. And there you go. There's your model. All right, I think that'll do it. That'll get you going. And just keep practicing with it, and you can come up with all different kinds of crazy ideas and do pretty much just about anything. Just about. It won't do everything really technical. Curves and stuff like that. It's got some things in there that you can use, but it won't be real accurate. But for simple things like this, it's perfect. All right, guys, have a good day.